In this video, I'm going to share some astonishing research which proves that humanity exists as a collective consciousness, that we're all profoundly interconnected to one another, and that there is so much more to the mystery of consciousness within each one of us than anything that modern science has even begun to discover. Now, I've spoken in previous videos about the fundamental oneness of humanity and all of life. I mean, if we just travel back in time to the beginning of the universe, we all began as one. We all emerged out of the same infinite source, right? It's clear that we're all interconnected here, but how does that affect us in a real-world sense? Well, there's actually a research group called the Global Consciousness Project, which was established in 1998 to detect possible evidence of humanity's collective consciousness.
A question tonight, can you actually measure the emotional outpouring in a worldwide crisis?
Sometimes scientists think that they have done just that. Their machines and computers found a bizarre pattern right after several global disasters.
I encourage you to look this up. I mean, this is a fascinating project with an international team of scientists. The Global Consciousness Project created a network of dozens of random number generators distributed in different locations around the world. The hypothesis here was that if there is a global event where millions of people around the world shared the same feelings, emotions, and intentions, it could create coherence in the collective consciousness that affects the output of these random number generators in a statistically significant way, almost like a disturbance in the force. And what's amazing is that this hypothesis actually seems to have been confirmed. For example, during the September 11th attacks in New York City, significant changes in the level of randomness and coherence were detected in these random number generators. The odds of this being a coincidence was calculated to 1 in 100 billion. 1 in 100 billion. And this wasn't even one isolated event, right? Over the past 20 years, the Global Consciousness Project has documented over 50 of these global events that triggered significant changes in these random number generators. As the Global Consciousness Project states on their website, when a great event synchronizes the feelings of millions of people, our network of random number generators becomes subtly structured. We calculate 1 in a trillion odds that the effect is due to chance. The evidence suggests an emerging noosphere, or the unifying field of consciousness described by sages in all cultures. These findings are incredible. I mean, this could revolutionize our understanding of the nature of consciousness, because this clearly suggests that there's more to what we are than just a physical body, that there's more to the mystery of consciousness than this physical brain, and that deep down, deep within, we're all part of a much greater reality than this one physical lifetime, right? And not only that, but this research also suggests that our internal state of consciousness is directly connected to external physical reality. And there's even more evidence to support this conclusion. This here is another incredible piece of research that provides phenomenal evidence of how our inner state of consciousness affects the external world. In 1993, a group of scientists set out to study the social effects of mass meditation. Over the span of 2 months, 4,000 trained meditators came together and meditated twice a day in Washington, D.C. Meanwhile, the researchers monitored a range of social statistics, and what they found was truly amazing. I mean, just astonishing. Over the course of the study, the rate of violent crime in Washington, D.C. dropped 23%. This was a rigorous scientific study that used complex statistical analysis to verify their findings. But of course, it's impossible to prove that the meditation itself is what caused this decrease in crime rate. However, consider that this study has since been replicated in dozens of other cities across the world with similarly incredible results. And this phenomenon has come to be known as the Maharishi effect, named after Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, who theorized that if a sufficient percentage of a population came together in meditation, it would produce concrete social benefits and increase standards of living for everyone in the population. Modern science, which is based on a materialist worldview, has no explanation for this Maharishi effect, so they just dismiss it as chance or coincidence. But I think that's rather short-sighted. I mean, to me, this Maharishi effect is not surprising in the slightest. Again, it points to the fundamental oneness and unity of all things. It's a simple fact that we don't exist just as individuals that are separate from each other. On a deeper level, we're all waves in the same ocean of life. We're all connected and unified on a consciousness level. And furthermore, our outer world is indeed a reflection of our inner world, because in a very real sense, they're not separate. It's all one. It's all interconnected. So here's the takeaway here. In order to create positive change in a world that desperately needs healing and awakening, we ourselves must heal and awaken from within first. It begins within. World peace begins within each one of us, and that is such a powerful idea. If we begin to open up to this truth, this realization that there is more to what we are than just this physical body, that on a deeper level, on a consciousness or true self level, we're all interconnected, we're all one, we're all part of the same greater reality, then it's obvious that we can affect change from within. This is what Gandhi meant when he said, "Be the change you wish to see in the world." Anytime that you and I are able to locate feelings of positivity, peace, love, compassion, kindness, gratitude, higher states of consciousness, when we bring in higher states of consciousness into this lifetime, that is a real and meaningful and significant contribution to humanity as a collective. That has a ripple effect that is more powerful than we can perceive with our physical senses. World peace begins within each one of us, and that right there is an idea worth meditating on. So much love to each and every one of you. Thank you for joining me here, and I'll see you back here very soon. Peace.